Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for clicking on our faces. We are back again. You just saw us last night, but you came back to see us tonight because tonight we are talking about My Adventures with Superman season 3. So this is something we've
Mhm.
pretty much covered since the very beginning of the show, right? We did season 1, season 2. Um, and there's definitely like a familiar tone of this season. Like I like the upbeatness of this
Mhm.
series, very vibrant. I'm a big Superman girl anyway. That's my favorite superhero, the best superhero of all time, one might say. That one being me.
Mhm.
So I'm always here for more Superman content. But my name is Sue the Superior, and I'm not here alone. I'm joined by my co-host, Vibrating Vic. How's it going?
Chillin', enjoying this Superman joint.
All right, all right. So, you know what's interesting about this season, right? Is because it's like paralleling. I can't even speak now. Parallel to what's going on with the DC universe, the movie DC universe, because we
Mm,
just got the Supergirl movie came
mm,
out recently. And even though I think technically it didn't do that well in the box office, it's interesting to see how they were covering those superheroes same time they're covering these superheroes in the show.
mhm,
Um, the only difference, though, as far as like with those two characters with Supergirl, seems as if the movie is taking her into like a more serious kind of like PTSD kind of version of Supergirl, and this Supergirl is more kind of happy-go-lucky in a way,
mhm,
but still with that
absolutely.
trauma. But to bring it into this episode, we kick it off with Superman and Supergirl.
Mm,
They're coming together in their new suits. Kara has decided that she wants to officially say goodbye to her, pseudo dad, Brainiac. So we did get a little bit of him this episode, but mainly this episode was about a couple things. It was about uh, Lois kind of coming to the realization that she's not really ready to move as fast as Clark because he's already talking about marriage and a home and a baby and all that stuff. And she was
mhm,
like, hold on, wait, I just got this job at the Daily Planet. I'm trying to like work on my career. I'm trying to like take things slow.
mhm,
She hasn't
mhm,
yet told him this, right? And we also get our other couple of Kara and Jimmy, and that's a couple with quotation marks because though they are like paired and in this matching, couples costume for this Halloween corn maze thing, they aren't technically a couple. Very weird dynamic going on here. But essentially during this part of the show, Lois is approached by her father and he tells her that there's some weirdness going on that she needs to get Superman in on.
mm,
And he called it like Project Caliban or something like that. And because everyone seems to know that she has like the direct line of Superman himself,
mhm,
they approach her to like anything in regards to Superman.
mhm,
So, one thing I wanted to mention that I wanted to get your opinion on, right? We have
mm,
a new intro this season, and a part of that intro, they show like some of the villains of this season, I
yeah,
suppose.
yeah,
And I wanted to see like who you think these people are. Clearly, on the bottom left, that's Amanda Waller.
mhm,
Um, right next to her, in the middle, we have our superhero Superman and Kara and Lois and Jimmy. Right next to them, I believe that's supposed to be Slade Wilson. Right there. And my question is, do you think that's Lobo at the top, right next to Slade? He
mm,
looks like Lobo from the movie.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. You might be right. Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's
Mm,
Lobo. That's gonna be our Bizarro. Right next to him is gonna be our Bizarro.
nice.
We'll get to him in a minute. And center in the background, that's a bald-headed Lex Luthor. Now, Lex
Yeah,
isn't bald as of yet,
not
but
yet, not yet, but we certainly get a blip of him being bald, which is
oh yeah,
interesting.
and in the flash forward to the future. And
Mhm,
we get this character to the left of him. It could be to the right of you guys. I'm not sure how it appears for you all. But we get this character here that we see in later episodes that we're going to be discussing shortly. So yeah, I'm not too sure about all these other characters, like that characters that bottom left group. I'm not sure who that is. Top right, we saw him in the last season, this little like trickster character. And I'm not sure who that is in the very center, like in Lex's chest. But it looks like we got a
Yeah,
lot
no,
of
this should be
yes,
somebody flying though.
yeah, somebody flying. So I'm like, is it a Kryptonian? Is it
Mhm.
Zod? Or like I have no idea who it is, but I guess we're going to find out all of these characters in this season. So I thought that was interesting to see like a couple of the villains that they have there. But the crew, our super crew, they go to find out what the heck this freaking Project Caliban is, and it takes them to this like cloning facility, right? It looks
Yep.
crazy, and they happen across this what they call B1Z, or I think it is, which clearly is, in my opinion, is supposed to be Bizarro.
Yeah, I
Um,
believe that's what it's gonna be.
yeah, they start to fight, and my thing is the only thing that's I'm confused about if this is Bizarro or not is because he looks just like a regular guy, right? Bizarro usually looks kind of like a zombie,
Mm-hmm.
kind of,
Mm-hmm.
and he just looks like a normal guy with
That's true, but
superpowers.
I mean, he's got the same face as Clark, so
He does. He
you know,
does.
he's twinning with Clark. So let's see, we'll see. But I mean, I felt like his presence so far is projection. I mean,
Yeah.
mind you, it might be him that's flying in the middle of Lex's chest.
Oh, but
'Cause
no, it can't be because I think this is him in the bottom right. See, that's him in the bottom right.
oh, fact, okay, he's all the way
Yeah.
down there.
So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't.
yeah, yeah.
Clearly, he's going to have some kind of transformation because by the end of this episode, we see that he's kind of like a good guy. Like he wants to be
Mhm.
kind of like Superman, not
Yeah.
necessarily like a antagonist to Superman. So something's going to happen that's going to like turn him in some kind of way or confuse him,
Mhm.
or I don't know what's going to happen. But by the end of this episode, we see that he's pretty much like a good guy. Um, on the next episode, this was my favorite episode of the show so far. This
Mhm.
Super Fest, I think it's called, kind of like a play on Comic Con. We have, of course, Supergirl. Everyone knows who she is. She's on this panel. She's being interviewed. She has her
Mhm.
own section at the con. When you got to be pretty big, like at least somewhat some kind of notoriety to get your own
That's
section,
true.
right?
That's true.
And
That'll be
not only
Jalen Brunson this year.
what, are you going to Comic Con?
Oh, no, no, no! Fanatics Fest. That's for all the sports and wrestling and all of that. That's like the Comic Con
Oh,
for the
nice.
sports here. So
Well,
it's gonna be big. MLB, NBA, all the
uh-huh.
champs are gonna be there. It's gonna be a big deal. It
Will you
really is.
be cosplaying?
Yeah, probably I'll probably put a jersey on. It's not that
Okay,
serious.
cool.
You know what I mean? It's not like Comic Con. But honestly, like if I wish I would have cosplayed in back when Comic Con was $20 and you could pay at the door.
Oh,
Which
dang, that must have been nice 'cause it's expensive now.
exactly. It wasn't
It's
nearly
so
as
it's so
big as it
expensive
is
that people are
now.
like boycotting it. They're like, "What the hell? This is way too much money."
Well, I
Um,
mean, no, but it's expensive because the first is Comic Con, and then a couple weeks later is Anime Con,
mm.
which recently blew up, and now all of a sudden there's a con in Brooklyn, there's a con in the Bronx, and everybody just wants to make put one
But
together
you would
because
think that that would cause them to drive down the price. They got a lot of competition now, but now
I
there's like
agree.
going
I
in
agree, but
reverse.
then at the same time, you got people that because back then people didn't necessarily cross state lines like that to come to cons. So you got
Okay.
people that are just coming from all over the country
Yeah.
just to come to this con.
Like I
Like,
did.
yeah, whatever.
We'll see. Either way, hopefully they bring them prices down,
I
specifically
agree.
for the cosplayers. I've stood on this hill for a while. I feel as if you cosplay, your tickets should be less because you're adding to the enjoyment of the con. A lot
Your
of people
ticket
come to
should
take
be free.
yeah,
If you
something.
show
They
up,
gotta do something. I
you
get they
show
have
up
to
with
pay the
all of that.
people. I get that they have to pay like the panels, like the stars that come out there. So they have to make that money somehow. So I do think that there should be a price for these tickets,
No, I
but
mean,
not
like,
this
it makes
ridiculous
sense.
high price.
Yeah, I agree.
But
Because I mean, they're making money all over those tables. They're making money
yeah,
all over that place, and like
yeah. They charge the
you,
businesses to be there. They got to pay to have a table there. People got to pay to
hmm
have a ticket there. You got to pay extra to take a picture with the
hmm
stars. It's like they're making money hand over foot, and they
that's
still want
right.
to upcharge. But to bring it back to the show. But speaking of cosplay, we did see at the con this like Teen Titan cosplay characters. I thought that was really
Hmm,
cute.
that was.
So yeah, that says to us that Teen Titans are canon in this universe. These are actual
Hmm
superheroes within that
hmm
universe. So I thought that was really cool. And shout out to Starfire. I cosplayed as Starfire one year, and it was an awesome, awesome year.
Nice.
But um, we have Kara and Jimmy. Kara confesses the fact that she wants to be mated, according to her kryptonite term, with Jimmy the same way that Superman and Lois are. But Jimmy was like, well, I don't know. I feel like you're new to this planet. You need to, see some more things. And rightly so, because she literally just got there. And you don't want to be like someone's like first experience or first love. And then you got to end up doing what when she becomes famous. I don't know. I feel like that was a very mature decision on Jimmy's part. But I feel as if the show's framing it as if it was a mistake.
It
Uh,
definitely was a mistake.
really?
Yes, because like, listen, once you have that opportunity,
Uh-huh.
you got to pull the trigger. You clearly like her, so you got to pull
Yeah.
the trigger when you have that opportunity.
But
She,
she's basically a child in this. She just got there,
I
and
hear
now
you.
she's Supergirl on
All right,
panels
but
and
then you
everything
want to
else.
put her on Tinder.
I mean, she's got to have a whole phase. She just got here, and he don't want to
Okay,
be with
o-
her when she's in her
okay,
whole phase.
all right. If the tables were turned, I don't think it'd be like that. If all of a sudden Jimmy was like, "Oh, I gotta go through a whole phase before I get with you because I like you too much," come on now.
No, I'm
Nah,
not saying. Oh, listen, I'm not saying it's what he should say or what they should say. But if she literally just got to this planet, she's never had a boyfriend or any kind of experience dating, and suddenly you want to be that first experience for her as she's blowing up and learning things about the world and just coming to Earth. It seems like the mature decision was to let her find herself first.
he could teach her because it's not because the thing is it's just that like
She ain't
he's
never had
gonna
no
tell
girlfriend
you
either, according to Clark.
that's
That was
another one.
loyalty.
That's another one. So like, what are you doing?
Yeah, they
What are
both
you
don't know
doing?
what they're doing, so they
You
might
don't
as well
know.
wait.
You're both young. You don't know what you're doing. You might as well just try it together. Because all you're doing is suffering. You sitting there taking pictures of her so that she could go post it online and then get all of these matches and all of this attention.
Yep.
Come on now. And then what are you gonna do? You're gonna just wait a while and all of a sudden want to just pick her up and tell her to drop Tinder. All right. Good luck with that.
We'll see.
Good
We'll
luck with
see
that
what.
one.
But
Mm.
as he turned her down, of course, you mentioned that she's getting all this attention because, of course, she's Supergirl. And
Mhm.
while he's, looking at her like a sad puppy dog, Lex, of all people, shows up, offers him a card because he's continuously trying to work with Jimmy. I feel like they did the same thing like last season.
I mean,
Um,
Lex is always looking to use people.
yeah,
He's
that's true.
always trying to find somebody to use. So
That's
that's
true.
that's on brand for Lex Luthor.
Very true. What's going on with Superman and Lois? Superman came to the con under, he said he's just coming as a bystander, right? At
Mhm.
one point, he did have to leave prior to Supergirl going onto this panel um, to take care of like this bank robbery that's going on. But we'll get to that in just a second. Lois is confronting this toy maker because this is the same toy maker who tried to get her, and her daddy killed a little while ago, and she hasn't
Mhm.
forgotten. And good for her because she was looking a little crazy at first with the teddy bears and all of that. But it turns
Mhm.
out he actually had some sinister plans because he had this whole Gundam wing kaiju kind of thing, kind of toy waiting in the wake. So good for her for sniffing it out and not, you know, falling to people selling her that she's looking crazy.
It's crazy how anime this show is. Like,
Yeah, it's very anime, for sure.
it's
Even
just even with just the expressions of the faces and all of that. Like,
yeah,
it's wild. And the gaijin just is
uh,
just a cherry on top. Like
yes. Even
I
in the next
expected a missile or something, and the guy pulls out a whole Megazord.
hmm we also get in an earlier scene where Superman is kind of trying to protect this bank from being robbed. We have this new villain I forget what she called herself, but basically she has these two whips that are like infused with kryptonite. And luckily, Clark was able to overcome. I wonder if we're going to get more of her this season. But when we get to the kaiju, the fight takes place, but it is kind of Superman isn't the one who took him out. It was this new guy called Hank. I think it's called Hank Henshaw, and
Mm.
he is like this reanimated almost corpse that Lex tried to put together, and it's
Yep.
very weird. He seems to be kind of like made of spare parts in a way. Yeah, it's all very odd, but we also get to see that he isn't as good as Lex likes to make him seem to the public, because in this flash forward, um, Lex, who was bald in the future, he approaches Superboy to get him to go back into the past to prevent the actions that are happening in this current future. And from what it seems and what we find out in later episodes, it's this is the person they're trying to uh, get stop from taking over in the future. And it's given
Mm.
very much Apocalypse from X-Men, right? It's like very similar storylines, having to travel in the future to stop this big bad from happening.
Mm.
And I wonder what's going on with these shows, because even Invincible, I think it was, and The Voice had a very similar storyline with that whole virus thing. Remember, it's like they all kind of like similar kind of story beats. I wonder why that
Mhm.
is.
That's true. Mhm. I guess once they know something pulls, everybody just tries to do it.
Yeah, they ran with it. But in our third episode, we see Jimmy. He's on dating scene. He's on something called Worms, which is like a gross. Like, who wants to get on Worms looking for a date? That sounds like STD and everything else.
I mean,
Gross.
it was very real life because like they put this thing in you, and all of a sudden you turn into like a furry.
That's what
And
we're going to get into, because he started dating. He went on a date with this big girl. She called herself Gigi,
mhm.
and she is apparently this going around, like turning people. And this is something that he was supposed to investigate that he turned down, just so he can go on like these dates and find a woman. But it
Mhm.
turns out he turned into a victim. He turned into a victim this
Real
episode,
quick,
real quick.
real quick, because
And oh,
she got emotionally invested
yes, fast weirdo. And she
too
stuck him.
fast.
She like basically roofied him and injected him with some stuff on the date. All
Mhm.
very odd. But to bring it back to like the anime kick, this scene with Lois and Kara felt very anime to me. That whole like singing
Mhm.
montage that
Yes.
they had, I really enjoyed it, but it was very anime for sure.
It was interesting the story they were telling with that though, because one of them is literally like excited about the new dating scene in her life. And then the
Hmm.
other one is talking about not being ready for
Yeah,
marriage
not
and
being ready
babies.
to start a family with
Right.
Clark. And you know what I find interesting? They never really say how long Lois and Clark have been together. I take that some time has passed since they decided to like officially be a couple, but I wonder exactly how
Hmm.
much time has passed. That's not
You
really
know
that
what?
clear.
I don't think it's a long amount of time because like this is one of the first times where you ever see Lois and Clark together as a young couple and where everything is exposed.
Hmm. Oh
Because
yeah.
it's like a major expose. Like they're together. She knows he's Superman. She knows everything about him. They
Yeah.
like they're having dynamics in their couple of no Supermaning. Like that I found interesting.
Yeah.
It was definitely given like a young Lois and Clark
Hmm.
before they had kids. Like um yeah, I found it interesting because like in the old Superman movies, it took forever for Lois
Hard
Lane
to
to
find
find
out.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was part of the story arc. Like they literally totally deviated from that.
And I think it makes sense given the name of the show. It's called My Adventures with Superman. So I feel like
Hmm.
if she didn't know, it wouldn't make as much sense, because this is like her story, right? It's My Adventures with Superman, not Superman
Exactly.
Adventures, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
like they put a strong emphasis on her being a reporter, finding
mhm.
things out, being in her element. So she's definitely a main character in this one.
Yeah.
If not the main character,
Yeah,
honestly.
she's I feel like she's the main
Yeah.
character.
Mm,
Like that show that I really loved, The Interview with the Vampire.
mm.
Louis is the one being interviewed. So he is the vampire, not necessarily Lestat until like later seasons, till this current season. But old girl Gigi turns ginormous. She ends up taking Jimmy to the top of like the Empire State Building,
On,
essentially.
on some King Kong shit. That was
Yeah,
hilarious.
exactly. And Superman had to say today, child, because he was about to get tore up by Gigi. And
Hmm.
this is one thing that I thought was interesting in the mall scene with Kara and Lois. We get like a close up of these rings, and that bottom ring, that green one, that's clearly a Green Lantern ring,
Yep.
right? That's
That's cool.
definitely what that is. So apparently, there's a show. I don't know. It's been announced a while ago, but they have My Adventures with Superman, and now they're going to be doing soon My Adventures with Green Lantern. Again,
Mm.
paralleling. I can't even get that word out now. I swear I know how to say it, and it's just not, not
Parallel? What the?
parallel. Parallel with
Just
what's
say at
going
the
on.
same time.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I can say the word, I promise, guys. I don't know what's happening with my tongue today. But it's the same thing that's going on with, the greater DC universe, because we have
Mm,
the Lantern show coming out soon on HBO.
mm,
So they're definitely like capitalizing off of that. And given that My Adventures with Superman comes on HBO too, it makes sense, right?
mm.
But that brings us to our very final episode to discuss, which is where we get more of Superboy, right?
Yes.
And this only thing was confusing to me was when he came into our present time with Lois and Clark, and he announced himself to be their son. Um, I was one when we first saw him with Lex. I thought he was going to be that like hybrid, but that DNA kind of like copy that Lex did with him and Superman. That wasn't
Hmm.
necessarily a direct biological son of Superman, but it seems like they're doing like a little bit of both. It's like I think the one that was the copy was called Connor, and that was the Superman that you would see if you guys watched Titans. That
Mm,
was on HBO a few years ago. That was
mm,
Connor, who was like a DNA copy
mm,
of Lex and Superman. But what's his name? Their other son, their biological son, is different. And again, it seems like they're like fusing these characters. But he comes into present day, and of course, Lois is kind of weirded out by it because she's already just literally just told Superman, like, hey, I kind of want to take things slow. I like you, but I don't know if we going, we talking to
mm,
marriage just now. It's a little bit too much for
mm,
me. So they try
mhm,
to take it slow, and boom, here comes their son from the future. It's like,
mhm. Which is Wild City right there. Like that right now just pulled me into the show. This whole arc with Superboy. Like that is
yeah.
just wild.
And him trying to facilitate this peace treaty between the humans and like the
Mhm.
sub-Saharan, whatever it is, submerged dinosaurs, whatever
Like
it was
yeah,
called.
like the dinosaur population, which was interesting.
Yeah, and it reminded me again of Invincible. Remember when Invincible
Mm,
was fighting that dinosaur like last
mhm,
season or something? Like dang, these
mhm.
shows are like crossing over.
I'm waiting for Omni Man to show up in this show.
Right.
Straight
Look,
up.
this might be him, right?
For real, right? Hey, hey, I agree.
uh but by the end of that episode, the fourth episode, Connor, not Connor, their son confessed that Lois and Superman are both dead in his future, right? And he's
Hmm.
coming back to save them. So, do take Superman out. Like it's not even like a thing. Eh,
Yeah.
And I was surprised because I didn't expect this character, like this creation of Lex's, to be so powerful. Um, but I guess I'm hoping now that Superman has a little backup, kind of like with Superman and Lois, the CW one,
Mm.
when Superman had to fight. I think was it Bizarro, or was it like Doomsday or something? I forget. But he had to have him and his sons had to like triple team this guy
Hmm.
to get the job done. So now that he has help via his son, via
Mm.
Kara, you know, we're gonna save the day. But
Definitely,
yeah.
definitely. Now, mind you, this whole thing with um okay, I'll tell you one thing that it's reminding me of, and that
What?
is the time of the death and return of Superman when Superman fought Doomsday, right? Because
Yeah, yeah, yeah. CW.
after that, then showed up. All of a sudden, we have four new Supermen. We had a
Hmm.
Cyborg, we had a Man of Steel, we had Superboy, and then there was another one, right? In
Yeah.
these episodes, I feel like we just got two of them. The Cyborg one
Uh-huh.
and the Superboy. So I don't
Okay.
know. I'm curious to see like if all of a sudden we end up with the Man of Steel, like the black guy with that was in Superman and Lois.
Yeah, yeah,
So he
yeah.
had that steel, you
The
know what I mean?
bad.
I,
Yeah.
I
Not
I wonder if he shows up, and I wonder if they implement any of that into this. 'Cause I feel like they're doing that. And then the other thing is we currently live in an age where AI is moving so fast that people are scared of it,
hmm
and I think they kind of tapped into that with the cyborg one because like notice how he's basically a computer, but now he's starting to think for himself,
Yeah.
and he's scanning phones
Uh-huh.
and
Releasing
gathering
himself from captivity.
data.
Yeah.
Yes, so figuring out how to get around like buttons that would stop him and things like
Yeah.
that. Like it's very interesting. So he's thinking on his own. And mind you, by that interaction with Lex, he clearly says like, I'm the top dog now. I'm the alpha male here. You're
And you
not
strike me.
you ain't nothing now. You second fiddle.
Uh-huh.
Um,
And Slade tried to warn him the whole time. He didn't want to listen to Slade. It was like,
no, yeah,
but he called it. He called it from the beginning.
yeah.
But yeah, those were the episodes, guys, 1 through 4. If you like the video, please like the video and join us next week when we
Mhm.
discuss the newest episode of My Adventures with Superman.
Yep.
So yeah, subscribe and we will see you then. Thanks for being here. Goodbye. See ya.